Welcome back. It's time for another book talk video. It's Magical Monday, and I've got a vampire novel for you. It's a book by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, Certain Dark Things. Apparently, this book was released in 2016, but it had been put out by a smaller publishing company with just a small run. I believe that company went out of business or something. Silvia Moreno-Garcia, the author, managed to get the rights back or something, negotiated with Tor, Nightfire, and it's being re-released. I'm putting this video out for Monday, September 6th on Labor Day. The book comes out tomorrow, September 7th. I don't know when you're watching the video, but I highly recommend the book. I think you should read it. For me, this was a 4.5-star read, and that means it gets rounded up on Goodreads to a 5-star read. It's my third book to read by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I read Mexican Gothic, I read Velvet Was the Night, and I just finished this book. I want to thank NetGalley and the publisher for giving me access. This was one of those ebooks that I had to request, and I was actually afraid that they might deny me because they have every right to, and I had requested it really close to the release because I had just recently saw it. So it was only a few days ago that I got the approval email and was able to start reading the book. So I read it very quickly, but even if I didn't have to read it quickly to try to get this video out to you, I think I would have been reading it quickly because it's a fast-paced, exciting story. We've got several different points of view in here. We've got a teenager who I assume is about 18 years old, living in the streets, collecting garbage, trying to survive. He's homeless, but he's clever. He's a very clever guy. And he happens upon a vampire one day, a beautiful vampire woman, and she needs help. And she actually decides that he could be a useful friend to have. But there's this tension there because she doesn't want to rely on other people. She wants to feel independent. But she's gotten herself into a bad situation. This story is set in an alternative version of reality in Mexico City, in a world where vampires have been known about for decades. There are different clans of vampires, but Mexico City has walled itself and supposedly has no vampires in it. They killed off their vampires. They don't let vampires live there. And she's in Mexico City. She's on the run because something has happened to her family and her clan. There's another vampire that's hunting her. But there are also gangs in the city, drug cartels, criminals. They vie for power. We've got the police angle. One of the points of view is a police officer, a detective, who was a vampire hunter outside of Mexico City and has recently transferred into the city to have a better life for her daughter. And since she was known to hunt vampires outside of the city, when things start happening and the people kind of get wind that there are a couple vampires battling it out in the city, she's the detective who's tasked with figuring out what's going on and putting a stop to this just insanity. We've also got points of view from the other vampire that's in the city who's warring with her, this arrogant playboy Nick, and the human that works with Nick and his father, Rodrigo, who does not like Nick, doesn't like putting up with all his stuff. So we've got several different points of view, and it's nice how it bounces back and forth between them in order to tell the story. There's also a huge dog in the story, which is the pet of the female vampire. In fact, a lot of the story I just found myself concerned with, where's the dog? What's the dog doing? Sometimes a scene would start and I'd be like, is the dog with them? Is the dog not with them? Very obedient dog. A well-trained dog. So I highly recommend this book. I think you should read it if you like vampire stories, the kind of horror fantasy mix that's going on, as well as, I have to admit, the whole tension of will they or won't they with the boy who clearly has fallen in love with the vampire woman, whether or not she would at all be interested in him because he's a gross human and all of that. I don't mean, well, I guess I do mean gross human because he needs to take a bath because he doesn't bathe regularly. And yeah, he's a human. She's a vampire. Why would she want to be with a lowly human? That's definitely something that is frowned upon by her people. There are some fun twists and reveals as the story continues, which is part of what makes it so much fun. And I like a story where characters are on the run, constantly having to deal with more setbacks and challenges, so I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. Oh, it was so much fun to read. You should give it a try. Certain Dark Things, available September 7th. Once again, thank you to NetGalley and the publisher, Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I appreciate being able to read this before it came out and offer this review. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.